Hands down, the most challenging issue that Israel is dealing with is the hostage issue. And the reason why is because they're caught between a rock and a hard place, as we say, and the emotional, pull, the pain is so deep that in most cases, emotion on this level really confuses clarity. And it's very hard to be a leader when there's so much emotion on the table. I do have to say that the prime minister is really carrying both of these in and balancing it in an extraordinary way, which I have seen few people be able to do. On one hand, he fully feels for the hostages, for the families, and he understands he's a person who's got a long history in the army, having lost a brother in the army, and serving as prime minister, and just dealing with people who have had these horrific challenges, and he really feels for them. And at the same time, as he will explain in this clip that we're going to watch, where he's being asked these questions at a press conference, that at the same time, the job of a leader is to make sure to do what is going to be the best for the country, and not letting these intense emotions determine the path where it's going to take us off path. And this is just, it's terrible. And on one hand, he stands with the families in the fullest way he can while he is being accused and being blamed, which makes it even that much harder to actually, to still stand with the people who are mudslinging at you in the most horrific way possible. And at the same time, they're doing what he needs to, which is going to be best for the country. Let's take a look at this.
The mother of Almog Sarusi, one of the murdered hostages, says you sacrificed her son on the altar of the Philadelphia corridor. If the price of your refusal to withdraw from the Egypt-Gaza border is more hostages are killed, is that a price you are prepared to pay? And is that a price the people of Israel will accept?
I can understand the great torment that the mother of this murdered hostage feels. I can understand her rage. I can understand her sorrow. So I'm not going to stand in judgment of that. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to talk about the facts. I'm committed to getting all of them out. I got more than half out, and more than half of the hostages alive out, because we employed the pressure points. We leave the pressure, we're going to get no one out. I'm committed as the Prime Minister of Israel to two things. They're right here. The first one is to achieve the release of the hostages, and the second is to protect the security of Israel and make sure that we have no more hostage taking, no more murders, no more rapes, and no more rocketing of Israel. Both of them. We have to have this and this together. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm committed to do.
And if I can follow up, sir.
CNN, please.
This is Prime Minister Jeremy Diamond, CNN. I spoke to Aviva Siegel tonight, a former hostage whose husband is still being held in Gaza. She told me that she believes that you are sentencing her husband, Keith, to die by prioritizing the Philadelphia corridor over a deal. And she has this question for you. Is Keith going to come home alive or dead?
I'll do everything to make sure that Keith and all the other hostages come back. I'm telling you that if we relieve the pressure, if we get out of the Philadelphia corridor, we're not going to get the hostages back. Certainly we're going to condemn a lot of them to stay there. We could get a few out. They'll give us that. But they'll leave a lot with them. We won't have the pressure point. And something else will happen. We will not be able to come back. So we won't release all the hostages. And we won't achieve the defenses that we must have to prevent more October 7th again and again and again. That is my responsibility. I can understand the torment of families. They don't, none of them believe that we'll get the hostages in the first batch either. None of them, few of them, quite a few of them didn't believe it. And they came and they said, you have to get them out, you have to get them out. You're not going to give them out, you have to make this concession or that concession. I didn't make those concessions, and we got them out. So it's very hard, I don't stand in judgment of these tormented souls, because they're undergoing an agony that is hard to fathom, and I understand that. But the responsibility of leaders is not merely to share the sentiment, the emotion, but also to exercise judgment, the correct judgment, to make sure that these horrors do not happen again. I believe that our strategy is the best way to achieve both goals, both freeing the hostages, and ensuring that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again.
Carrying, balancing this is extremely, extremely difficult. And I tip my hat to the Prime Minister for doing this in a very, very dignified way with strength.